Within 36 hours of starting a detox, phase 2 kicks in. So for our guests that arrive Sunday, have a Sunday lunch, and who are fasting Monday, Tuesday, certainly by Tuesday morning, phase 2 has kicked in. And remember, the purpose of these phases is to bring the fat-soluble toxin to a water-soluble state. In phase 2, the liver takes this highly volatile, highly toxic metabolite and joins it together with amino acids. The union of the toxic metabolite with the amino acids, like a joining together, the medical term is conjugate, a joining together, that produces the water-soluble state. So we looked at what phase 1 needs, which is antioxidants, beta-carotene, vitamin C, vitamin E. Also helps to have the minerals and the vitamin B. So what does phase 2 need? Phase 2 needs protein, because protein supplies the amino acids to mop up the toxic metabolites to produce the water-soluble state. How many people take protein on a fast? They don't, do they? And then they get sick, and their therapist tells them they're going through a healing crisis. They're not going through a healing crisis, they're going through a liver crisis. Because if you don't supply the protein within 48 hours of starting a detox, if you don't supply some protein, that person can suffer 25% liver function loss. What happens is the liver starts to break down to supply the protein needed. Whoa, this is important. A guest said to me, this explains. I went on a 10-day water fast with a doctor in Sydney. She said within 36 hours I started vomiting and diarrhea. Yeah?
So you never recommend only water fast?
No, we don't. 100 years ago there were a few writers advocating long fasts. Well, 100 years ago we weren't dealing with these. You see that?